right now on ABC 15 Arizona at 10.
Off the hook, the president pardons Joe Arpaio, igniting a political firestorm. We hear from the former sheriff tonight.
This is going to be a very major disaster.
Breaking news, Hurricane Harvey making landfall right now, packing a potentially deadly punch. More than 1 million people in the path of this historic storm. A live report from the Gulf in just moments.
Only on ABC 15, caterpillar invasion. These guys are crawling everywhere in one Valley neighborhood. Tonight we're asking, what's the deal?
I'll make a prediction. I think he's going to be just fine, okay?
He hinted at it while here in Phoenix. Tonight, it's a reality. President Trump pardoning Sheriff Joe Arpaio, stirring up so many emotions on both sides. We've got team coverage lined up for you tonight. Jason Valentine hearing from groups furious with the decision.
But we begin with Kim Tobin at the federal courthouse, where this final chapter will be written. And Kim, the former sheriff and his camp expressing their thoughts tonight as well.
Katie and Steve, the former sheriff, actually speaking out tonight, saying he feels very fortunate. He feels very humbled by all of this, and that pardon or no pardon, he would stand with President Trump until the very end. America's toughest sheriff won't be going to jail.
Well, it's great. I love that president. He supports law enforcement, and I'm very humble.
After being convicted of criminal contempt of court for ignoring court orders to stop immigration patrols, Sheriff Joe Arpaio talking to Fox News' Sean Hannity about the pardon, saying he plans to reveal more about his court battle.
Show the abuse of the judicial system in politics. I'm not going down without trying to defend myself to all those people that don't like what I've done.
We talked with Arpaio's attorney, who says he was contacted by the White House's counsel today, completing the first step, accepting the pardon.
Yes, it's the end of his criminal case, assuming the judge undoes his conviction, which he's obligated to do.
Arpaio's team plans to officially file the pardon in federal district court next week. Governor Doug Ducey releasing a statement saying, in part, I believe Sheriff Joe deserves credit for helping to reduce crime in Maricopa County. Now he, Ava, and their family can move on and enjoy their retirement together. Arpaio is calling this a present for his wife because today actually happens to be her birthday. He also says he plans to hold a news conference possibly next week, and we can expect that pardon to be filed here at Federal District Court next week as well. We will follow every step of the way for you. Reporting live in downtown Phoenix, Kim Tobin, ABC 15, Arizona.
Thank you, Kim. Before we get to those strongly opposed to this pardon, I have some exclusive details about how this went down. A person familiar with plans for this past Tuesday's rally tells me the original plan was to announce an Arpaio pardon during the president's speech. That plan was scrapped for what was supposed to be a speech on tax reform, then changed again to the speech we saw. Of course, the president eventually told the crowd he wouldn't announce the pardon that night because it would be too controversial.
Our team coverage continues with Jason Valentine. Jason, plenty of people bashing this decision, even one of our own congressmen making quite the statement tonight.
Well, Donald Trump may have been right. It was indeed controversial making this pardon. Congressman Ruben Gallego, one of President Trump's toughest critics, now saying he wants to impeach the president, and others saying they'll go after any elected official that supports the pardon for the former sheriff.
Joe Arpaio has been removed from office because of his illegal activity. A pardon cannot take that away.
Anger, frustration. Maricopa County Supervisor Steve Gallardo saying President Donald Trump's pardon won't stop former Sheriff Joe Arpaio's critics from dragging him back to court.
I believe it's up upon the Maricopa County to sue Sheriff Joe Arpaio in court and recoup some of the monies that he has wasted.
Gallardo's talking about tens of millions of dollars in lawsuits and legal action against former Sheriff Joe Arpaio, mostly stemming from racial profiling accusations over the years. Others in this group say Arpaio's pardon means it's time to go after Donald Trump.
Donald Trump is a threat to American democracy, and therefore impeachment proceedings are the only answer to that in this time.
And others say they'll now go after Sheriff Joe's supporters up for re-election next year, including Governor Doug Ducey, who released a statement in support of the pardon.
Do you defend the president's actions in pardoning a criminal, Joe Arpaio, or do you oppose that action and demand that it not happen? For every politician, for every candidate that answers that question wrong, we got to take them out.
Now, I did follow up with Congressman Gallego on that impeachment question, asking him if he'll actively pursue that goal once he gets back to Washington. He admitted that would be a tough road to go down with Republicans in power. Reporting live downtown Phoenix, I'm Jason Valentine, ABC 15, Arizona.
Another group calling out the president tonight, Lucha, says this is much bigger than one single decision.
What Donald Trump has done today was not just pardon Arpaio, a person that no longer affects our communities, but he tied himself to the legacy of white supremacy, racism, and racial profiling we have lived in Maricopa County.
They went on to say President Trump, quote, pardoned a terrorist. So how can this just be wiped clean just like that? Well, since this was a federal crime, the president was fully within his powers to make that decision. Powers the Constitution gives them.
Even with this news, it doesn't fully close the book on what's been an expensive tab for taxpayers. The latest estimates show roughly $70 million to defend Arpaio from his long-running racial profiling case. And more money will have to be spent to make sure MCSO stays in compliance with that order. So many people sounding off tonight. You could read much of that reaction right now on ABC15.com. And again, Arpaio will have to head to court next week to make this pardon official. Count on ABC 15 to update you every step of the way.